Hello, my friends. Day 23 of Kegel Camp. Wow, you are really hanging in there. And today we're going to amp up the impact and the balance challenge, but we will not use weights. This is going to be a quick workout, so let's get right to it. If you're just coming to me today for the first time, please go back to day one. And if you need a rest or to repeat a day, go for it. If you're ready, let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to show you an option for the next move. If you don't want to do the next move that we're gonna do, if it's too much impact, then just hold off, that's okay. You can just do this step tap and maybe feel the center line of your body, the inner thigh muscles, the pelvic floor kind of firing up as you do this. Bring your attention and awareness to the center line of your body and your core. Now, if you want more, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this deep squat that we've been doing like this, and then we're going to use some impact. We're going to use our inner thigh muscles, exhale, and jump the legs together. So it's an out and in hop. Now, what this does is it fires up that center line of the body, the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, everything is fired up and you're breathing. Now, you can do it with your hands nice and high. They don't need to touch the ground. I'm going to show you some options. So do what you need to do, but feel that you're really keeping your back straight, you're not hunching, and you're fired up through the core and you are breathing. If you hold your breath, it's gonna put downward pressure on your pelvic floor. If you move your breath, it's gonna make your pelvic floor resilient and strong, like a trampoline. If you hold your breath, it just puts pressure down. So don't hold your breath. These are the different options if you're doing the full move with me. So either you can be coming down and up with your hands at your chest. One more like this. Or you can touch the ground and come up. So here's the progression. Let's go ahead, especially for this one, to really begin by intentionally kind of setting the pelvic floor and the low abs nice and strong. So you're like, yes, it's go time. We're going to use the pelvic floor for control here. So this is the final kind of highest option is we go down like this. It takes some flexibility and then up. So down and up, down and up. 10 more, whatever level you're doing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, sitting back, 1. Oh my gosh, shake out the legs, walk it around the room, let it go. Whew. Now that was a lot of impact. It took a lot of work. So be sure to let it go now. You were holding that whole time. You were lifting the pelvic floor. So be sure to relax. Our next move requires endurance of the pelvic floor. We're going to do a balance move. In yoga, it's called tree pose. So you may be familiar with it. And I'm just going to show you a modified version. If you want more, then you can absolutely do more. But I'm just going to show you a level on the calf. So what you do for this move is you are going to stand up nice and strong, spread out your feet, lift through the pelvic floor, low abs. Make sure that your ribs don't jut forward. We want to pull everything nice and in, strong and engaged, beautiful, tall standing posture. Now in this position, make sure you're really engaged, lifted through the pelvic floor, and bring the hip, rotate it out to the side, keeping everything in alignment. This left hip, for me, this is my left, it's going to want to jut out to the side. Don't let it. You want to use those muscles to pull it back in, lifted through the entire core. And see if you can hold on to your balance, lifting that leg so it's on your calf. You're feeling this external rotation at the hip, so your glutes and your hip rotators are working and turned on. Your core, your pelvic floor is fired up and lifting to help keep your balance. Otherwise, you'd be flat on the floor. So holding it. Of course, if you need to hold on to something for balance, you can. But let's try to hold it for another 3 to 4 seconds. Probably one more nice deep breath. Focusing. And then let it go. Wow. It's a lot of work if you're doing that right. Shake it out. Couple of big hip circles to let it go. Couple times around this way and then go the other way. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So remember, this is not just a yoga move. It's a balance challenge, which is great for fall prevention as we get older. And it's also an endurance Kegel because you're lifting that pelvic floor the whole time. So find your beautiful posture, your beautiful alignment. Lift your pelvic floor, pull in your low abs, super strong. And now the other leg, so my left leg. It's going to turn out to the side just a bit. And of course, you can always just be here with your foot on the ground, or you can lift it. That knee is pressing open. You really feel that in your hips, your hip rotators, your inner thighs. Your pelvic floor is lifted. You're doing a Kegel, an endurance Kegel this whole time. Your arms can be right here, and you're breathing. Focus on one thing that's not moving, so that's not me. Focus on something above the picture on the screen that you're watching. Take one more nice deep breath, lifted through your leg. Try not to let that hip jut out to the side. You're lifted. And release. Shake it out, let it go. Now for our last move of the day, I promise that if you're a person who loves those isolated Kegels, we're going to do more of those. So if you'd like to sit down or lie down, maybe even lie down with your hips propped up, go for it. In fact, I'm going to. So let's go ahead and stay standing, or you can sit down or lie down. I'm going to lie down. Come on down. If you're lying down, remember to always come down through your side. Don't just jackknife down. And really remember, never be ashamed to modify or to, rest, relax, lie down. Do your Kegels in an easy position for you. Don't have to always be pushing ourselves. We really don't. Sometimes the best thing we can do for ourselves for strength is to take things down a notch so we can really get the best possible contraction. And what I'm going to ask of you right now is 40 quick Kegels. So a squeeze and lift, release. Squeeze and lift, full release. Go. Start now. Start on your own count. Keep going, and I'm going to talk just a little bit, so do your Kegels. You know how to do this by now 40 times. On day 18, I believe it was, we did 30 quick Kegels. Today, we've been working on a lot of endurance, doing the functional Kegel exercises and core exercises, but now we're working on the coordination and control of these quick squeeze and full release. You're working on the fast twitch muscle fibers. So really feel that fast twitch muscle fiber turn on and release, on and release. Feel that you're sucking up and then releasing all the way. Imagine that you're sucking something up into your body and then releasing it out. Keep going. Really make it a strong motion for these 40 Kegels. I hope you're still going. And remember, if you ever feel like you're starting to not be able to feel the contraction or that you're not able to feel the release, then that is a sign that you actually probably need to take a rest. So stop, pause, and take a rest if that's the case for you. It's totally fine. But if you can keep going, go for it. Also know that if you experience any soreness or discomfort, or if any of this is feeling like it's making your symptoms worse and not better, like if it's making you have more bladder urgency or frequency or leakage, then that means that you're probably not doing the Kegels correctly. And don't be ashamed. Even 20, something days into this program, if you're still having a hard time getting the hang of the Kegel exercise, you're not alone. A lot of people have a hard time figuring out this move because they're inside your body. You can't see them like a bicep contraction. So go ahead and, if that's the case for you, if things are getting worse and not better, then you need to actually stop and see a women's health physical therapist. So by now you're probably finishing up. So if that's the case, go ahead and release all the way. If you weren't finished, go ahead and finish up. But if you were finished, release all the way and then hold on to the outside of your shins or feet, either way, and hold on to this nice frog stretch. Maybe rock a little bit side to side and just let it go. If that doesn't feel good to you, then you can simply stir the pot, which is always a nice one that I like, where you just stir the legs like this. Or you can just take a minute, drop your knees together, and maybe reach your arms overhead. Whatever feels good to release your pelvis, release your pelvic floor, and let it go. Take a deep breath and then roll to your side. And I just want to thank you for coming back to yet another day of Kegel Camp. More tomorrow, so please do come back for day 24. And until next time, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter.